Do you regard Frank as a really dangerous opponent?
Well, if I had a dollar for everybody, for every upset that there had been, I would never have to fight again. But I take everyone very serious.
I was in the Catskill Mountains and we'd done about 30 rounds there, you know, and the first time I ever sparred with him was about 2 years previous to that. And I'd only done 2 rounds that time, but when we went to the Catskill Mountains, we'd done about 25 rounds, and it was very, very good. Terry was there at the time, and Terry goes, oh, you better take it easy on this kid, because Cuss said that he's just coming up, so you better, you know, just go, we're going to do about 4 or 6 rounds. And the nutter come out, like, for 2 rounds, and Cuss either pulled him out.
We were just 2 young guys, and it was interesting.
But when we went to the Catskill Mountains, you know, I got my own back, I think.
I say he's a good guy. I mean, this is a business that we go through.
I'm sure Frank must have landed a shot or 2. It was 5 years ago. It's very difficult to remember.
Yeah, I mean, I fought a couple of guys that I liked. I liked Michael Spinks a great deal. I admired him a great deal, watching him as I was a kid. You know, I mean, having a great deal of admiration for him. But, you know, I mean, this is our business. I mean, if he wins, he goes up. If I win, I move up another step. That's the objective.
It seems to me, when a lot of people fight Tyson, that they freeze. Now, people are saying that this might happen to you.
No, Harry,
now, I don't think
freeze.
it will, because you've been in with the guy.
I've been in with the guy, and I feel confident about going in with the guy. He's just a human being like you. He's a human being. He wears shoes, he wears socks. And as I say, you keep on repeating it, I've been in with him, and I know him. And I'm not going to get into that sort of, like, bandwagon, like, oh, Tyson this, Iron Mike this, Iron that. You don't realise that the guy had a car crash. He damaged his hand. He broke up with his wife. All his mind is not on the game. On this fight, his mind not conditioned for this fight. And I was confident before all this happened. And I think this is a peak time to beat a Mike Tyson, Harry. You know, I really do believe so.
Now, he's a tall guy. He's going to be several inches taller than you. He's got a lot of reach on you. Now, does that pose problems for you, or do you think that might be difficult for him because you're that much shorter?
Well, height doesn't bother me at all. You know what I mean? Sometimes they say the disadvantage, but I use my height as my advantage as far as making the guy draw his punches.
I've seen today sparring partners who are built a bit like Tyson. They're short. And you're obviously going to have a problem because the man is going to be much shorter.
Yeah, much shorter, yeah.
What are you doing? What are your tactics to try and get to somebody like Tyson when you've got to punch down all the time?
You've got to box and be aggressive, but very, very constructive. That is my plan when I'm going in that fight, you know? From the first bell, I've got to be very aggressive, very alert, very confident, and no hesitation at all, you know, going into that fight. That's what we're playing, and I can't tell you too much more than that, Harry, because there might be some Americans in London watching and phoning over.
You see, you've had 16 wins in the first round. I just wonder whether in your mind you might be thinking this will be 17.
Well, if they come, they come. That's all. If it comes, it comes. I don't look for the first round, but when they come, they come.
Do you have a picture in your mind as how he might come at you, how he might fight?
Well, there's either 2 ways. He could either run and try to stink the fight out, or he could just come and fight. There's only 2 ways he can fight.
He says he's very confident. He says because he's met you and sparred with you that he's not going to freeze, as some of your opponents seem to do. So he could well come out shooting. Would that suit you?
And I would love that. You know what I mean? Please let him help himself.
You prefer the guys who come straight out at you, do you?
Oh, God, absolutely. I won't have to look for him. He won't have to look for me.
You know, you see, Bone Crusher Smith gave you a difficult time, didn't he? And Frank dealt with him quite well for 9 rounds.
Well, he fought Frank a lot differently than he fought me. He's very terrified, I say, when he fought me, and he didn't fight.
Why do you think fighters are terrified of you?
I'm not saying, I'm saying he was. He was terrified.
But why do you think that is? Why should people be terrified?
I couldn't tell you. No, I'm going to tell you. They know that I'm the best fighter in the world, and then I knew it ain't chump.
I've been training for a long time. Mentally, I feel very, very strong. Physically, I feel very strong. I need to polish up on a few little things in the gym. I know that I've got to move and sharpen up, and I know I've got an animal coming in at me, but I'm very confident because I've been in with that animal before, Harry, and that's no bull.
Well, you've always said that there's no one around it that can possibly beat you, and you obviously still feel that.
Absolutely.
Is there one danger man around in the world, perhaps, that you look at and think, well, one day I might meet him, he might be the one? Is there anybody like that?
Well, whoever it is, I'll be here. I won't be running.
If you beat Tyson, and you are the world...
You've got to try and put positive...
When you beat Tyson, and you are the world heavyweight champion, what is that going to mean to you? And I don't mean in terms of money,
right,
because that's taken for granted. You'll make a lot of money. You've already made a lot of money. But what does it mean to you to be the guy at the top?
this life is always about fantasizing, you know what I mean, and dreaming and things like that. You know, when you're a kid, you always dream about something, but in this world, nothing in this world is impossible. You know, as long as you put your mind straight on your job, nothing in this world is impossible. Nothing. That's what I think. Nothing in this world is impossible.
So what do you see? Do you see a short fight? Or a...
Tyson victorious, no doubt about it.
And victorious again? You're going to fight a lot from now on? You're going to...
Absolutely. I mean, this was an unfortunate situation that happened when I took this time off. But like I said, we'll be back.
Are you a different person because of all the things you've been through? Are you a vast...
Absolutely.
In what way are you a different person?
I've learned, like I said, I learned a great deal about myself going through those tribulations. And can I tell you something? I'm glad. I wouldn't want to change that hands of times. I'm so happy, and I look forward for the fact that God put me in a situation where I went through this and I survived. You know what I mean? Some people go through this and they don't survive. They kill themselves. They're just walking zombies. They throw their lives away. And I'm coming through with bright colors.
And recently you were baptized, so that's a very important thing in your life now, religion.
Yes, it is.
Can you tell me, what does religion give to you?
Well, it gives me a whole sense of objectiveness in life in general, because, you know what I mean, I'm nothing. People look at you, have success, you have wealth, but you know what I mean, there's a creator, you know what I mean, and he makes this happen, and he makes the roses blossom, he makes the clouds sunny, and it's just a great admiration to know that I'm a child of the Lord.
And do you think when you go into the ring that God is on your side and not maybe on the opponent?
I'm not that foolish and egotistic enough to believe that, because we're all God's children. You know what I mean? But the faith is just in his hand. I'm back.
And certainly the most important event in terms of British boxing for many, many years. This weigh-in, which is taking place some 36 hours before the fight itself, is being held in the Hilton showroom. And this is a theatre, and the stalls, as it were, are packed, and I mean packed, with British supporters. There are hundreds of them here this morning to watch this weighing-in ceremony. And Frank Bruno has got support here in Las Vegas from his own family. Laura, his girlfriend, is here. She's here this morning, sitting alongside Frank's sister. Frank's mother is here, but she's not attending the weigh-in. He has a brother here, and there are other relatives. Huge support for the man who will certainly achieve the most significant win this century in British boxing if he beats Mike Tyson. Well, now the two men come to the moment when they'll step onto the scales, and the moment when we may well be able to get an idea of the comparative stature of the two men, because certainly Bruno is going to be far, far taller than Tyson.
Heavyweight champion of the world from the Catskills, New York, Iron Mike Tyson.
And a quick change of mind. They decide that the challenger shall weigh him first, and Frank Bruno doffs the green tracksuit he's been wearing. He's been standing on the stage chewing gum, hardly said a word, looking quiet and collected. And now on the scales, and should go something like 16 stone odd. 16 stone is 224 pounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frank Bruno weighs in at 228 pounds, or 16 stone, 4 pounds.
Well, for the sake of the British fans, the poundage translated into stones, 16 stone 4.
Undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson.
And now Tyson, some 4 inches shorter, and will probably be nearly a stone lighter.
Mike Tyson weighs in at an even 218 pounds.
6 pounds under 16 stone. That is 15 stone 8. So he's going to be conceding 10 pounds, and now the first of the pre-fight confrontations, the staring match, the ritual now this has become on these big occasions. And do have to say that the figure of Bruno towers over the stockier figure of Tyson. And so they part, the final meeting before the curtain goes up on the fight itself.
So around 15 hours to go, no doubts that champion and challenger are in the peak of condition. The best thing that Bruno can do now is not to listen to the big fight projections.
Tyson is 21 and a half years old, unbeaten in 33 fights with 29 knockouts. Tubbs is hurt badly.
And it's over.
Iron Mike Tyson!
He wants to know what he has, and he has every right to know. If Michael has $50 million and he's supposed to have $70 million, there's a problem.
And you ride around town in a $183,000 Bentley like this one. But heavyweight champ Mike Tyson believed his Bentley was bad luck, so he gave it to 2 Port Authority police officers who came to investigate a minor fender bender.
Now we'll see who's the champion and who's the champ.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, once and for all, let's get ready to rumble 12 rounds for the undefeated heavyweight championship of the world.
And he's down again and in serious trouble. A right hand right on the chin.
And as far as I know, this might be my last fight.
Is a manic depressive. He is. I mean, that's just a fact.
Mike Tyson was knocked unconscious, not by human fists, but by a tree yesterday.
It was at his Bernardsville, New Jersey mansion that heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson allegedly went on another emotional rampage.
Actress Robin Givens says she wants out of their 8-month marriage, and she has hired celebrity divorce lawyer Marvin Mitchelson to make it happen.
The city which has been the site of so many big boxing events over the past decade. We are live at the Las Vegas Hilton in Las Vegas, Nevada, where tonight undisputed heavyweight champion Mike Tyson will defend his title against the WBC and WBA #1 contender Frank Bruno. It's scheduled for 12 rounds. The long wait is over. After 8 months, Mike Tyson climbs back into the very ring where he won the heavyweight title over 2 years ago. And this fight takes place on the anniversary of a very propitious date in boxing history. 25 years ago tonight, Cassius Marcellus Clay, soon to become Muhammad Ali, knocked out and upset the knockout artist Sonny Liston to become heavyweight champion and introduce the modern era of boxing, some would say the modern era of sports in America. This is an excited crowd, some of it having flown here from England to root for Frank Bruno, most of these people having waited a long time for the reemergence in the ring of the heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson. Hello again, I'm Jim Lampley, and all of us welcome you to this momentous occasion. We have waited, as has the boxing public, through 8 months of delays, sometimes with frustration, sometimes with mounting anger, as this fight was postponed no fewer than 5 different times. Very shortly, it will finally take place. I'm working, as always, with the noted boxing journalist Larry Merchant. And Larry, when last we saw Tyson fight, on June 27 of last year, when he knocked out Michael Spinks, this bout was scheduled to be held in London because there was some concern as to how difficult it might be to sell tickets here in the United States. Now it is a widely anticipated occasion. Why?
Well, Jim, you can put the blame on those old box office standbys: sex, money, and power. Mike Tyson married a woman who thought their personal lives should be a photo opportunity. He added his own 22-year-old's craziness, and they lived unhappily ever after, in public. So public it was bizarre. Entertaining, but bizarre. And now everyone wants a ringside seat at Mike Tyson's circus. They want to see this man-child who lives recklessly, breaks all the rules, and still comes out punching.
And even in the absence, Larry, of Robin Givens, there is still sex, money, and power. Every day with Mike Tyson is a publicity event. Yesterday, at the weigh-in, Frank Bruno observed the modern tradition of weigh-in as competitive psychodrama. He stepped up to Mike Tyson and tried to engage him in a staring match, and Tyson, showing that he could bottom anything Bruno wanted to try, engaged in a little bit of street machismo, pulling down his knickers slightly to try to over-intimidate Bruno. Then, later in the day, Bruno came to this very ring in the company of his hypnotist, no doubt trying for some positive imagery in this ring. He left, crossed himself, went back to the room with his hypnotist, and prepared himself a little more psychologically and mentally for this fight. Mike Tyson, incidentally, also has a hypnotist. Ray Leonard has been known to hypnotize opponents in the ring. And Ray, as Muhammad Ali was 25 years ago, Frank Bruno is an overwhelming underdog. Similar odds tonight. Does he have any chance to win?
Well, personally, I'm not an advocate of having a hypnotist in my training regimen. I mean, to each his own. As a matter of fact, that's Frank Bruno's prerogative, and Mike Tyson uses one also. The general consensus claim that Bruno doesn't have a prayer, so that's when the hypnotist comes into play, because it gives you confidence, it makes you more optimistic. But one thing about it, a hypnotist can't help you fight.
Mike Tyson does know how to fight. Frank Bruno hopes he knows how. And many of you may be watching again, as you did 8 months ago when Tyson last fought, but many of you may be watching for the first time a heavyweight championship fight because so much has happened. That was then. This is now.
In his brief boxing career, the only constant for Mike Tyson has been change. He has lived in a state of perpetual motion as turbulent business and personal affairs have revolved around him. All of us have witnessed the events. Who among us can measure the change? At the beginning, the roles were clearly defined. Mike did the fighting. Bill Caton and Jim Jacobs did the managing. There was never a question of who was boss.
We hear now that you're going to fight Larry Holmes next. Why Larry Holmes?
Well, I don't have any say-so in the matter. I'll just fight and I'll defend my title against any man in the world. If I was you, I'd talk to Jim Jacobs about that.
I'm the boss, by no means. And I don't say that to be egotistical by the furthest imagination. I just say that because I generate the income. No one gets paid for me. I generate all the income. I take all the risk.
Bill Caton had supported Mike Tyson for 8 years. His problems began in March 1988. when his partner, Jim Jacobs, Tyson's protector and best friend, passed away. Caton's relationship with the champion had never been as close, so questions arose about his future role as manager.
Even if I didn't like anyone in the organization, we had to continue to stick together. Because we both help each other. They can't find a better fighter, I can't find a better management. So we all need each other.
I would never want Bill Caton to be my manager again. He doesn't respect me, he doesn't respect what I stand for, and he believes that he thinks he's Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? Lots of times I figure, well, why don't Bill Caton fight if he figured that he's the commodity? Why don't he fight?
Like Beauty and the Beast, Robin Givens and Mike Tyson were the hottest, most intriguing newlyweds of 1988. But the headlines were not always flattering, and the couple was together just 8 months.
As far as like her killing me, divorcing me, you know, I make that decision, right? You know, divorcing me. Someone who I dearly loved and made a big mistake, and I hope when all this is over that we both continue to be friends and continue to be successful and happy.
The P.T. Barnum of boxing, promoter Don King has usually found a way to attract the biggest names in the sport. King is a man whose gregarious style will never find him short of words, but whose character will always be the source of controversy.
And when you mention Don King's name, there's a dark shadow and cloud comes over everything. And you think about, oh, Don King, I mean, they have the villain. And this is a statement that I always made of myself. If you have a snake in a room where the lights and everything's on, you could be in a room, you could do business, you could do anything in the room, as long as your eyes on the snake and you see where he's going. But once you cut the light off, then you have the reason to panic because you don't know where he's at and he could attack at any moment.
But while others were pulling and tugging at the champ, Don King came to Tyson's rescue, guiding him through his most chaotic episode.
Don King had helped me through a great deal of pressure when I was going through distress. Bill Caton didn't care to put 2 cents in. No one else cared to help. So no one can tell me anything bad about Don King. If I say Don King's a no good, lousy thief, then everybody can believe me he's a no good right. But I'm saying Don King has been nothing but good to me.
A disciple of the late Customato, Kevin Rooney trained Mike Tyson from 1982 to 1988. But after Tyson became champion, rumors spread that Rooney would be replaced.
You see, the handwriting's on the wall. If something is to go wrong, it's all going to come on Kevin Rooney. But that's the business. So, you know, it's no big deal. I'm not going to lose any more hair over it.
This past December, Kevin Rooney was fired. Today, it's a new team with more members than before, some of them getting their first taste as boxing professionals. And some think Rooney's association with Tyson may not yet have come to an end.
I won't say history. You know what I mean? Kevin has a lot of things, you know what I mean, he has to talk to me about, and eventually we will talk.
In the past few years, we have all been Tysonized by the evolution of one of the most quicksilver phenomena in sport. The moments and events he has experienced in such a brief period of time add up to more than most of us could envision in a lifetime. Imagine what it's been like to be Mike Tyson.
People wouldn't want to be in my shoes. They really think so because they say, wow, I can make money, I can get rich. But if they had to go through some of the things I had to go through, I think they would cry. Sometimes it's so depressing you got to go through. Being Mike Tyson is very exciting. There's never been like a dull moment in my life. Even though I sometimes say, wow, you know what I mean? I don't think about it, and sometimes I kind of call myself, I don't believe that happened. You know, it's just never dull. It's very, you know what I mean, charismatic all the time. And living that life 24 hours a day, I mean, that's a head trip. It's like, whoa.
It's been said that to live is to change, and to be perfect is to have changed often. It's still too early to tell whether the changes in Mike Tyson's life will ultimately be seen to have been for the better or for the worse.
And on this night of his life, at the age of 28, not having fought, as you see, in 488 days, Frank Bruno exits his dressing room and makes his way toward the ring. As he appears before this crowd, you will hear the cheers of more than 2,000 Englishmen who purchased tickets under the auspices of English promoter Jarvis Astaire, the man who had the original deal to host this fight in Wembley Stadium, and who have flown here to root for their man. Some think for only a brief period of time.
I can hardly think of an American athlete who would get that kind of loyal following. But one of the interesting things about that loyal following is that many of them are betting against Tyson in some of the most, against Bruno, in some of the most curious betting I've ever seen. There's virtually no betting on who will win the fight. It's all on when the fight will end. And it's even money to end by the 3rd round. And many Britishers are betting against him.
And this despite the fact that on the 2 occasions when he has been knocked out, it was in the 10th round against Bone Crusher Smith and the 11th round against Tim Witherspoon.
Of course, everybody remembers the last fight, which was 91 seconds.
Frank Bruno enters the ring. We are told that he did not warm up a great deal in his dressing room, but he appears to have broken a sweat. You see the record, 32 wins, the 2 losses to Smith and Witherspoon, 31 knockouts for Bruno, most of them against palpably lesser opponents. And as we await the entrance of Mike Tyson, we ready you now for Ray Leonard's tip of the night. Ray?
Well, Jimmy asked, does Frank Bruno have a chance? And my answer, Jim, is yes. A puncher's chance, that is, because Frank Bruno's, his bread and butter is this powerful and devastating right hand. But you know, with power, that's one thing, but you also need other attributes. A good chin will definitely help him. Against some big punchers, Bruno's had some big difficulties. When we talk about Mike Tyson, Tyson likes to end the fight early, traditionally. But I think some early body shots will make this fight a whole lot easier for him as opposed to just going to the head. In order for him to get inside, the stiff and short jabs will get Tyson inside to do damage to the body. This should be an interesting and pretty much short fight.
And there comes the Gladiator. 242 days, 242 monumentally eventful days have passed in his life since the 91-second destruction of Michael Spinks. And Tyson dispenses with the towel with the hole in the middle of it and comes toward the ring in his typical fashion, already in a full frothing sweat and ready to go.
Yeah, according to some financial records that were released in some court actions, he spent almost $200,000 on clothes last year, but obviously none of them on sweat socks or robes.
Mike Tyson has fought 35 times. 4 different opponents have taken him the distance. There are very few here tonight who suspect that Frank Bruno will have a chance to become the 5th, much less to win the bout. And we look at the tail of the tape, and you will see that Frank Bruno has at least a 3.5-inch height advantage. Some would say it is greater than that. A 10-pound weight advantage, 11 inches in reach, and there are very few who believe that any of those numbers will be a factor in what happens here in the ring.
Bruno looks like a #1 pick, but Tyson plays like an all-star.
And as you pointed out once, Larry, Bruno has the best body in the heavyweight division since Ken Norton.
Well, here's our punch stat numbers. Punch stat, which purports to give a kind of statistical profile of how busy the fighters are. Unfortunately, Mike Tyson's busyness is not the issue in his fights. Not how many punches he throws, but the quality of the punches. Bruno may throw more, but Tyson throws them harder. And those numbers are also reflected in the number of jabs.
The WBC rules in effect for tonight's bout: 10-point must system scoring, 3 judges scoring the bout, no standing 8 count. A fighter can be saved by the bell only in the last round. Most significantly, there is no 3 knockdown rule in effect. A fighter could be knocked down 3 times in a round and still continue in the bout at the discretion of the referee. And right now, let's go up to ring announcer Chuck Hull with a pre-fight introduction.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hilton Center of the Las Vegas Hilton Hotel, where tonight the Hilton Corporation presents an evening of World Championship Boxing.
This bout is sanctioned by the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF, and by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Elias Garnham, chairman. The commissioners at ringside this evening are Dr. James Nave, Dwayne Ford, Freddie Little, and Jay Nady. The executive director is Chuck Minker. This fight sanctioned by the WBC, Jose Suleiman, president, the supervisor, James Nave. By the International Boxing Federation, Bobby Lee, president, Al Goodman, supervisor, and by the WBA, President Gilberto Mendoza, and the supervisors are Dr. James Nave and Santiago Chicas. The officials assigned by the governing bodies for the next bout of the evening, the judges are Jerry Roth of Las Vegas, Omar Mintun of Mexico, Rodolfo Maldonado of Panama. The timekeeper is Mike Lachella. Counting in the knockdowns, Mike Morabito. The attending physicians at ringside, Doctors Flip Omansky, Donald Romeo, and James Game. And your referee is Richard Steele. This is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Introducing, in the blue corner, fighting out of London, England, weighing in at 228 pounds, or 16 stone 4 pounds, with a professional record of 32 wins, 2 defeats, with 31 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, he is rated number world in the world by the WBC. He is the challenger, Frank Bruno. And in the red corner, from Catskill, New York, weighing 15 stone 8 pounds, or 218 pounds, he is undefeated in his professional career, 35 wins, 31 KOs. He is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
Okay, listen. I gave both fighters their instructions in the dressing room. I'm cautioning you again. Obey my commands at all times. Is there any questions? Shake hands. Good luck.
This will not be the first time that Mike Tyson and Frank Bruno have faced each other in a boxing ring. When Tyson was 16 years old and Bruno was in this country to fight a boxer named Mike Jamison, they sparred for upwards of 20 rounds. By most accounts, Tyson got the better of his older opponent. And Tyson starts with a fury, and Bruno tries to punch back. Bruno down after a right hand. It is scored as a knockdown. So we've had a knockdown in the first 20 seconds of the bout.
Fastest knockout in heavyweight history, 55 seconds. I kind of figured this would be somewhat of a street fight. It's not really boxing right here. Mike Tyson is traditionally doing what he does in the past. He's done in the past, rather. Go inside. Bruno's trying to make him respect him. A lot of rabbit shots thrown. Back in the head punch thrown by Frank Bruno.
Why'd you get out? Why'd you get out?
Richard Steele warning Bruno not to hold Tyson at the back of the head. Mike seems oblivious to the right hands from Bruno. He just wants to get in and throw.
Somewhat of a smart tactic about holding on, but one thing about it, Bruno has a tendency, Jim, to stand straight up. As he throws his punches, he backs away, which leaves him susceptible to the left hook.
Mike began with a fury going to the head. He has not yet thrown body shots, which a lot of people thought would be Bruno's biggest problem early.
There's blood from Bruno's nose.
Come on, let him go, Frank.
Solid left and a right by Tyson, and now Bruno rabbit punches Mike as he takes him to the rope.
And again, it's a smart tactic by Frank Bruno. You know what's happening, because Mike hasn't fought in a while, Mike is getting a little anxious now. He's trying to throw little shots, and referee Steele is trying to, well, he's giving a warning.
And Bruno's getting a useful breather here as Richard Steele takes plenty of time to sort things out. Still a minute to go in the round.
Bruno told us that he's stronger than Mike Tyson. I don't particularly agree.
Mike is incredibly strong.
Tyson finally went to the body in that last exchange. Now Bruno lands a short left inside. And Tyson wobbles for a second.
There's that puncher's chance I had talked about.
And now another left hand from Bruno. And it is Mike Tyson who for a second there lost his balance.
Punch it out, punch it out.
Mike was really wowed by that shot by Frank Bruno.
Very clean, right.
The crowd here stunned by the early fury of this action.
Let's go, Frank.
Bruno is going to make it out of the first round, and so for that matter does Tyson.
One man down, the other man wobbles. I'll take it.
And as Mike Tyson said at the top of our show, he's back.
Much more of warfare than we expected. You heard him there. But the referee has taken a point from Bruno. Let's take a look at the knockdown. This is that same knockdown. It was a short right inside that seemed to hurt Bruno, and then he went down from a shot on top of the head. And here is Bruno coming back with that right hand, and then the left, and there was a left that wobbled Tyson. But remember, the referee has taken a point away from Bruno.
As round two begins, Tyson lands a solid left hook.
It's apparent that Bruno is working on his left hand too, because in the past, it was always been his right hand that was able to do the damage. The left hook was able to daze and hurt Mike Tyson.
Punching it out. Keep on, guys. Frank. Frank, come back.
See, even inside, Jim, I don't think it's good for Bruno to just stand there because Tyson's arms are shorter, he can get those little shots in there.
Get on back, Frank. Get on back.
Left hand to the body by Bruno, and Tyson wailed back, but missed.
Bruno needs a jab out there to keep Tyson off balance.
Bruno's got the distance now that he needs to jab, but he hasn't started to throw it with any consistency, just pawing with it so far.
What Bruno's doing, and it's so elementary, he's measuring with the jab and trying to drop the right hand. Just can't wait so long. Just keep it out, it's pawed out there.
Tyson with two chopping lefts inside. Bruno landed a right to the face of Tyson, but didn't have any leverage behind it.
Go home, go home.
The Englishman in the crowd chanting, Bruno, Bruno.
Punching it out, punching it out. There we go.
Bruno here trying to outmuscle Mike Tyson like he stated earlier.
And certainly Tyson exercising more caution, perhaps with the memory of that short left hook.
Caution and respect. Mike trying to drop that right hand in on there.
Trying to load it up, which he might be able to do against a fighter as slow and mechanical as Bruno.
Well, it's apparent that Bruno's been doing some homework. Look at him. The left hook, he turned it into an uppercut.
And there's an uppercut from Tyson. But Frank Bruno has shown us some monumental improvement with the left hand since his last appearance on HBO against Tim Witherspoon.
I would like, if I was in Tyson's corner, I would like to see some body shots because Bruno is a tall guy. The body shots will do some damage. Bring those hands down.
Come on, work it out.
Mike fanned the air mightily with the left hook. There's another short left inside by Bruno. He is astonishingly effective with it. Right hand by Tyson landed flush on the jaw. Bruno in trouble again.
Mike's going to push it now.
Another good tough round, and a lot of people have lost their bets for betting that this fight would end in the first 2 rounds. It was a sucker bet. Sometimes the suckers win. Usually they don't.
7-7-2 to come inside. That's all those bunches of bad intentions mean.
Now use your left hand to get in. Don't lay on the outside. Close that gap. Right? Get in the inside. Left gap. Right? Use that left gap to get you in there. Side to side. Right? Don't lay still.
Whack with that right when he comes. And you're hooking underneath like you did, okay? Frank, now get yourself. Frank, get yourself together now. You can fucking do it, okay? I'm telling you. Come on. You took his best shot, now come on. Here's Tyson with that straight right hand. Very good, straight, classic right hand.
Round 3 begins. Both fighters anticipated the bell, and Richard Steele had to pull them apart.
Punching it out, Eric. Punching it out. Don't hold him, Bruno.
Tyson going to the body.
Exactly. And this way he can bring some hands down, slow down the movement of Frank Bruno.
And Bruno continues to win respect inside, particularly with the left.
You hold it, Frank. You hold it. Punching it out. Let's go. Come on, punch it out and get out. Punching it out.
Mike Tyson, I recall, throws a bolo shot with the same hand. And I wait for that same shot to the body, to the head.
All right, break. Stomach.
Tyson is not jabbing to get in as he did in his recent bouts. He's just stepping in and throwing shots. A brutal body shot there.
That shot there takes so much out of an opponent, especially later rounds.
Stomach. You hold him.
Mike appears to, he wants now to just bob and weave and get in, as opposed to using his left jab.
Come on, let's go. Work and get out. Break. Stomach.
Right hand by Tyson, partially blocked.
Come on, work and get out. Hold it. Let him go, Mike. Let him go. Come on, Bruno. Break. Stomach. Come on. Get out. Don't hold him, Frank.
Some English observers said Bruno didn't know how to clinch and hold inside, but he's done a reasonable job of it so far.
Jim, to prepare him for this kind of fight for the last year, they've had Bruno wrestling in mid-ring with the strongest man in Great Britain for this exact kind of fight.
Now, I think it paid off because it gave him a sense of knowing how to tie his man up. It's very unorthodox, but it's work.
Come on, work and get out. Let him go, Frank. You're holding. All right, Bert, stomach, Mike.
The most successful fighters against Tyson have been those who've been able to hold him and throw his rhythm off.
All right, break, stomach.
Mike is getting a lot of shots off here, but only 1 or 2 at a time, not in big bunches. Bruno chopping away with the right hand, not doing much damage, but making Tyson aware that he's willing to fight back. This has been a highly creditable effort so far by a Frank Bruno who could easily have been gone in round 1.
Go hold him.
Some body shots by Frank Bruno.
Come on, work and get out there. Work. Right.
A left hand after the bell by Tyson. And the Britishers in the crowd react.
If he makes it through another couple of rounds, they'll give him Scotland.
Gotta work this body a little bit more. Then set it up to the head. Some body shots, baby. You gotta use a lot of them 7. A lot of 7.
You must slip and hit, Michael. Don't walk straight in. That's what he's waiting for.
Finish him off.
Use
right hand, left hook, right hand, left hook, right hand, left hook. All right. Come on. Gotta use a lot of 7s to get in there. Stay inside. All right, stay inside. Be leaning in.
Lariev got it 30-25 favor of Mike Tyson. In the first round, Frank Bruno lost a point because of the knockdown and a point because Richard Steele took away a point for holding.
And for
For the record, let's note that the chief second in Tyson's corner is not Jay Bright. It is Aaron Snowell who does most of the talking to the fighter.
Tyson now was told to use the jab as opposed to just walking in, and he's doing just that.
He's not going to have to for too long if he lands another right hand like the one he just landed moments ago. But Bruno seems to be okay. Blood again now from Bruno's nose, probably as the result of that early right hand in this round.
What Bruno should be doing is throwing some uppercuts. As Mike comes in without using his left jab, he needs to raise Mike's chin. Or either jab. I would suggest a jab because jab doesn't allow you to get in trouble. If you stick it out quick enough and snap it.
That jab won't do him much good.
It's a lazy, it's what we call, Jim, a lazy jab. And lazy jab, it's always a counter right hand that follows it.
It's the kind that Tyson will simply walk through. Left hook got just behind the glove of Bruno. Bruno with the left. Not as solid as the ones in rounds 1 and 2.
You hold him, Mike. Come back, don't hold him.
Bruno is a big man. He's a physically strong man. And I would, again, suggest that Tyson wear him down. The same principles of chopping the tree down. You got to kill the foundation.
Come back.
There's a body shot. And that's what you mean by chopping the man down.
And you see now Mike is starting to get off a body attack.
Get going back, Frank. Get going back, Frank.
But again, Ray, 1 or 2 punches at a time.
Well, we need to see a series of combinations going to the midsection of Frank Bruno. Bruno needs to throw a snap his jabs.
Come on, Frank, get out of there. Get going back. Pull him back. Come on, Mike. Pull him on back.
This is when it's dangerous for Frank Bruno because, again, he's an erect target as he stands straight up.
All right, break.
And that's why Mike jumps in with the left hook.
Earlier in his career, Tyson had a tendency to be lazy in clinches, not to throw the body shots that were necessary. Then he stepped up the pace, was very effective with it. Tonight, there's been a little of both.
Two stiff left jabs by Mike Tyson.
Don't hold him, Mike. Let him go. Come on.
I'm sure Tyson's probably going to tell him to work the body and use the jab as opposed to just going in with his head.
And come straight up the middle and use the uppercut like that. He's been effective when he comes straight up the middle instead of winging shots from side to side.
That cheer you hear is for the over and under of 4 rounds, which a lot of people bet. But what's going on here, gentlemen, is another bone crusher Smith-Tyson fight, which isn't the most beautiful kind of fight to watch. But Bruno is just trying to survive now. He's really not fighting.
You're hurting, but you're falling in. Throw that right hand, twist it that way. All right? Doing good.
Suck it up. A fucking good wallop on the left hook off the jab, okay? Tripping by surprise. When it comes in, it's broken. Why do you go back there?
Come on, let's have it.
That is Aaron Snowell, the new face, and you saw whispering into Tyson's ear.
Let's see how far Tyson has come since that Bone Crusher Smith fight, which was a very unsatisfying fight for him and the crowd. Let's see if he knows how to chop the man down.
You know, Mike's getting a little over anxious, and he's coming in with his feet together and his chin exposed.
I think he's been over-anxious virtually since the opening bell, Ray.
Well, too many times people say, well, this fight won't go 3 rounds or 2 rounds. And sometimes the fighter believes that. Frank Bruno doesn't believe it.
Solid right hand inside by Tyson. Again, Bruno ties him up.
I heard Bruno corner say, throw some uppercuts.
Don't hold him, Frank. Don't hold
Bruno
him.
trying that left hook inside, but the starch has gone out of it. No longer does it hurt Mike the way it did in rounds 1 and 2.
All right, break. Stop it.
You hold it, Frank. You hold it, Frank. Frank, stop back, stop back. Last warning, last warning.
And you saw our pre-fight interview with Tyson's deposed trainer, Kevin Rooney. We should now report that Rooney has left that camera position and gone back to the Golden Gloves amateur boxing competition in Schenectady. He is not watching this fight.
And remember that he said he thought the fight would be tougher than other people did. Look, I see so much body exposed of Bruno.
Get right. Come on.
It's like an open invitation.
Solid left hook inside. And an uppercut with the right. And Bruno is wobbled again. Bruno will try to hold on. Tyson tries to get punching room and hits Bruno with an elbow in the mouth. Uppercut, uppercut, right hand. Bruno's in serious trouble. A left hook. And Richard Steele watching carefully. Only guts keeping Bruno up at this moment. There's blood trickling from his nose and his mouth. Tyson really doing damage with the uppercuts. Just missed with the right. Trying to land the one haymaker.
Punching it out, punching it out.
Oh, it's just a matter of time here.
Vicious punishment.
That's a shot. That's that Bolo shot.
And
Beautiful
Richard
shot.
Steele has seen enough. As Terry Lawless throws in the towel simultaneously.
That was a shot, Jim. That double shot with the same hand.
And what you saw there, as I said earlier in the round, is a mark of the progress of Mike Tyson from a good, raw, young heavyweight into a great heavyweight who knew how to go about his work.
Official time, 2:55 of round number 5.
Thank you.
In a professional execution, Mike Tyson makes relatively short work, not as short as some believed it would be, but relatively short work of a game challenger at Frank Bruno.
A game challenge by Frank Bruno. Bruno held his own. Forget about what the critics thought. Bruno was in there. He was able to hurt Mike Tyson, gain some respect, but Tyson, as usual, was able to come back strong and put Frank Bruno out of the fight game.
So victory number 1 for the new team Tyson. Victory number 1 for the corner group of Aaron Snowell and John Horn and Jay Bright.
Well, Mike Tyson just started his momentum, started building up his points and his punches, and he's starting to wear down Frank Bruno. I like the looping right hand. Some miss, but you know, Jim, the punch that really did the most damage was the uppercuts, little short uppercuts.
Now here is the same action, and there you saw the left hook inside that started it, much as was the case in his destruction of Michael Spinks, followed by a right uppercut solidly to the face of Bruno, and after that, the challenger was just holding on. And there was a moment there where Tyson got inside and smashed an elbow into Bruno's mouth to make punching. There's the uppercut.
Those are the short uppercuts that do so much damage, and people just don't appreciate those little short shots. Now watch these shots here with the same hand. Again, that left hook has been doing a great deal of damage to Frank Bruno in the earlier rounds. A lot of them missed, but the punch that did get through, Jim, were able to slow down Frank Bruno. That shot there, the uppercut, beautiful combination. Now watch as he goes to the body and he doubles his shots up.
All right, here now the sequence which ended the bout as Richard Steele ultimately decided he had seen enough. And at this moment, Terry Lawless, the manager of Frank Bruno, was running along the ring apron with a towel in hand, asking Steele to stop it.
It's a double punch with the same hand, to the body, to the chin. Here it is, to the midsection, right up the middle. Beautiful shot. He's hurt a lot of guys. In fact, he knocked out Balter the same way. You see the leverage of Mike Tyson. There, to the body and straight up the middle. I'm going to use that shot one day.
Has any heavyweight ever thrown the uppercut with such devastating effect?
Not that way. And Jim is short and powerful and a great deal of leverage.
Certainly not in recent memory. Has anyone used that punch?
In the middle, right there, and straight up.
Right there.
Oh, beautiful shot.
He once offended some members of the boxing press when he said after knocking out Jesse Ferguson with a similar shot that his objective was to drive the nose bone up into the brain. It's just a mnemonic, a technique for knowing what to do with the uppercut. Now to Larry Merchant with the champion. Larry?
Mike, another one on your belt, another notch. Was this harder than you anticipated?
No, not at all, because I knew that he was going to come up, he was talking, and the way he was talking, I knew he was hyped. He was ready to go. And I knew I was the best fighter in the world. And I wasn't worried about
20 seconds into the fight, though, you've got him on the canvas. Do you think what's going on here, it's all over?
No, I knew he wasn't hurt. Thank you, Frank. God bless you.
Good cap, Bruno.
I knew he wasn't hurt as bad as everybody thought him was, because I didn't hit him with a solid shot.
What did you hit him with?
I think it was the right hand, somewhat grazing.
Yeah, and then you hit him on top of the head and he went down. Were you then surprised that he came back and he seemed to hit you with a pretty good left in that round?
When he got up, he meant business. That's the old man.
But did that left hand shake you momentarily that he hit you with in that round?
He was throwing a great deal of hard punches, but I refused to go down. They didn't even faze me.
After that round, it seemed that you had established that you were the guy, and now he was just there to hold on. Was that how it seemed to you in the ring?
Absolutely. But still, he was sneaking some very hard punches in between there.
So he was stronger than some people gave him credit for.
Absolutely. Well, you have to think, when fighters come to fight the heavyweight champ of the world, like Ali, they automatically become better fighters.
What happened in the fifth round that you saw? You knew that he was weakened enough after the fourth round that it was just a matter of time?
Well, absolutely. I knew I was going to get him.
All right. Memories of Bone Crusher Smith passed through my mind. A guy who hugged you for 12 rounds.
Well, no, I knew he wasn't about the hugging for 12 rounds because he was trying to impress his Englishmen out here. And I'm just convinced, you know what I mean? These fellas, I dare them challenge me with their somewhat primitive skills. They're just as good as dead.
So that, in effect, though, didn't this show how much you have improved since Bone Crusher Smith, that you could chop him down the way you did?
Well, eventually, we have 12 rounds. Hopefully, I wish there were 15 rounds, but the rules prevail for them to be 12, and we have to live by the rules. And I wasn't worried at all.
So many months you haven't been in the ring. How does it feel to have finally got in here and do what you say you do best?
It felt great. Being here and the people scream and yell, the people scream for him, it's motivating me more.
What can you tell me what? Can you tell me what plans you have now, Mike?
Well, at this particular time, right now, I'm just going to go home and watch a movie called Lean on Me.
Don King, can you tell?
Guys, would you stop the pictures right now? Let's get the news companies on. We'll stay for pictures and give you any shots you want. How did it affect you?
Well, can I tell you something? I was in good shape, but I could have trained longer. I could have had more time to train, but you know, I mean, the last thing I could have done was say I need more time. You know, I mean, it was too late. I had to deal with what I had and do the best of what I had to do it with. But I could have used a little more time to train, psychological, that is. Well, he hit me with some hard punches, but I refused to get hurt. You know, I mean, we're in the hurt business. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna let a little punch. Well, after the first round, I saw he was game. He got up. I knew he was hurt, and I saw the Englishman was pumping him up, and his pride was up. And I said, well, this looked like it could be a long fight. But as the fight was going on, I knew that I was going to break him. I could see it happen slowly. Well, yeah, you know what I mean? It's difficult for me to rate myself. You know what I mean? I feel I could, you know what I mean? I feel I could do, that wasn't any Mike Tyson of vintage by any chance. But still in all, you know what I mean? I was in there, and I was, right now, at this point in my life, even at this performance, I still believe I could beat anybody in the world.
Did you feel that you were at your sharpness, though? I mean, did the layoff affect?
I just answered that question. The layoff had a little effect, but I don't want to make any excuses. Like I said, I could have trained longer. I could have had more time to train, but you know what I mean? I deal with the best I had.
How about taking off 40 pounds? Did that have an effect?
Yeah, it had a great deal. But like I said, you know, you can't make any excuses. You know, it's my fault that I got up there, so like I said, I had to deal with it. Excuse me?
he was very high. You know, he came to fight, and I expected a tough fight.
About your opponents, how would you rate your opponent?
You know, it was very difficult. You know, I mean, I don't know. It was a very difficult fight. He came to fight. As far as rating opponents, you know, I mean, I don't rate it. You know, I'm just glad to win and go home. Well, you know, he hit me with some hard punches, but like I said, you know, I mean, that's part of the game. It's a hurt business. You gotta bring ass to get ass. Excuse me? Well, I was a little anxious. I wanted to take him out, and then as I saw that he came to fight, I said I was prepared for it to be a long fight. But like I said, during the third round, from the third round on, I knew I was going to break him. I could see him breaking very slowly. Yeah, tomorrow, starting tomorrow. I plan on fighting every 2 months or 8 weeks if I can. Like I said, you know what I mean? I have competent officials in my corner, you know, cornermen. I was happy, and like I said, I got to go out there, I got to fight, and like I said, I basically know what to do. You know what I mean? I know what to do. When someone in there throwing punches at you, you know what I mean? It really doesn't matter who's in your corner. You just know you have to defend yourself. Say that once more? Well, you know, he was very strong, you know. It was funny that I couldn't get out of it, you know what I mean? I was trying to get out, and he was holding my head, and it felt like my head was coming off. He was pulling my head so hard. And it hurt my neck. Huh? I knew that he was going to be tough because I knew that he read the papers, and he was so psyched out, and as he said, this is a peak time to beat Mike Tyson. And I knew he had that in his mind. I knew he was serious to fight. I knew he came to fight. And I knew by him coming to fight, I knew eventually I would catch him. I knew he would run into something.
Did he hit you harder than any heavyweights hit you so far?
Well, he hit me pretty hard, yeah. Huh? Well, yeah, that was the hardest punch. He hit me harder than Tucker.
Mike, did becoming a Christian help you at all?
Well, you know, that always helped me. You know, I throw Jesus Christ, my Lord, my Savior, right in front of me. He's my sword and my buckle. And he fights for me.
Amen. Amen.
I don't know, maybe Jose Revolta. I mean, we're looking forward to him fighting next.
You heard the champion say it. I work for him. If it's Jose Luis Revolta, then lean on me. Jack, we're going to see lean on me, and we get ready for Jose Luis Revolta.
Perhaps, I would love to go, perhaps Brazil and Italy, you know, and Saudi Arabia. And Africa, those are the ones the main ones that we have in mind.
And Brunei.
And Brunei?
That's the one that's Sultan.
Yeah, but I thought that was Saudi Arabia.
No, it's different. Yeah. Brunei is different from Saudi Arabia. Brunei, the Sultan. We want to fight for the Sultan. The Sultan of Brunei.
I don't. Hey, can I tell you something? I tell you right now, for you to answer that question, you know what I mean? You sound egotistical. I don't care what you say, but it's a fact. You know what I mean? How dare them even to challenge me, these fighters? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? With their primitive boxing skills. You know what I mean? They're as good as dead.
Mac, baby.
Mike, talk about primitive boxing skills, but yet for sometimes the fight people just walk the floor without running. That's not usually how you used to fight before. What you see
All right. So what? I made mistakes. I came in after 6 months, taking off 40 pounds. You know what I mean? If you really want to make excuses, you know what I mean? Got hit with hard punches, came back. Well, let's see what happens next time. That's my first comeback fight. There'll be other ones. And then, like I say, about you say primitive stuff, nobody could beat me. Holyfield, Williams, you bring them all. If I was them, their best bet to do, they should have just came to the fight with their note and pad and take lessons. Excuse me? Well, if you didn't know, the punch that set him up when he first got on the rope, I hit him with a left hook to the body, and I heard him grunt, and that was the punch that slowed him down. He didn't punch back after that, and that's when I finished with the combination. They were calm, more relaxed than I thought they were. You know, like, coming into the dressing room, I said, "Oh my God, I hope they don't start yelling it." But you know, they're very composed. You know what I mean? I didn't expect them to be that composed. They surprised me even. Yeah, Taylor Smith.
And we fight on HBO, the network of champions.
Like you said, I was kind of a little bit excited, and I wanted to get the fight over with. You know what I mean? But as the fight progressed, I slowed down a little, and I made my punches count. Well, he would have said punch to the body. You know what I mean? He would have said punch to the body more and did much. Well, they told me to punch to the body more too. It's just at the particular time I just didn't do it. I was a little stubborn, and I tried to do it my way, which was successful, but it could have been more better. You know what I mean? I perform better when I listen, though. That's true. The 54-second record. All right. Hey, you know what I mean? There's a lot more. Hopefully, knock on wood, there's a couple more years to go. I'm not looking for no knockouts. I'm just looking to win, you know what I mean? And make your guys write some nice stuff about me.